Hi, I'm Rosa. Thanks for joining me. Today we are making red beans and rice. And this is a meal that is inspired by the red beans and rice served traditionally in restaurants in Louisiana. We used to visit family in Louisiana and we enjoyed going out on Mondays for red beans and rice. And the reason that they served it on that day was because traditionally laundry or the wash was done on Mondays, and they would need a meal that was easy to cook and prepare since all their efforts were being used on the wash. So they would put red beans and rice on them in the mornings, and by the time they needed to serve a meal, they had a delicious meal that they would serve with cornbread. Today I'm showing you how I make this for my family, and we of course aren't traditional, don't use andouille sausage, but the way we make it is delicious nonetheless, and we really enjoy it, and I hope you will enjoy it as well. I am making red beans and rice with cornbread for dinner. It's not authentic, but it's the way we like to have it and enjoy it, and it's really good. I use the Tetons Polish sausage from Costco, and I just use one package because there's only 3 of us. An onion, some bone broth. Sometimes I'll do 1 can of these Goya red kidney beans. These are prepared already, and then 1 can of regular red beans, but I didn't have any, so I'm using 2 cans of these today. And for the cornbread, I just use the instructions on the package. And instead of milk, I'm using evaporated milk because I have that on hand. I am also making rice with this meal. I've got the rice cooking, and I'm going to get the cornbread going so that it bakes, and then I'm going to work on the red beans. I am using a Jiffy cornbread mix, and the mix calls for 1 egg, milk, and to mix it up. So that's what I'm doing, and I am going to put it in a greased pan and bake it in the oven. While it bakes, I will get my red beans ready to go. When making red beans and rice, I like to chop up 1 onion and saute it in extra virgin olive oil, and that just gives the dish a really good flavor. And while the onions start to saute, I am going to cut up my sausage into small bite-sized pieces and then add that to the onions just to cook it for a little bit. As the onions and sausage cook, they give the pan a nice color, which I want that because that adds great flavor. I am going to add some bone broth to that to lift up all that flavor from the bottom of the pan, deglaze it, and that flavor is going to just come through into our dish. The Goya prepared beans are seasoned really well and make this dish delicious. Like I said, if I had just a 2nd can of red beans, I would have added that. But I went ahead and added 2 cans of the prepared beans, and that's what makes this dish really fast. I could have cooked the beans from scratch, but this is using the cans gives this or makes this meal really easy for a weeknight quick dinner for us. And I've just added some more bone broth just to get the right amount of liquid consistency that we like. This is what the beans look like now. If I had used 1 can of the red beans along with 1 can of the prepared beans, I would have checked it for seasoning and added probably some garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper if it needed it, and oregano maybe. But since I used 2 cans of the prepared beans, they do not need any seasoning. Those beans are very well seasoned, and I do not want to add anything to them. And here's my cornbread, which I will slice up. That's what's for dinner.